St. Louis and I are here today to talk about the crisis posed by the power of private companies that operate social media platforms. Republicans are holding this hearing because of their ridiculous, politically motivated obsession with Hunter Biden. This is a distraction from their inability, again, to govern, and it hides the shared concerns raised by Republicans and Democrats alike about the vast power, impunity, and lack of accountability of social media platforms. There are so many examples of these companies responding inadequately or inappropriately in crisis that we have come to understand misconduct as the norm for social media giants and not an aberration. Social media played a key role in fanning the flames of violence on January 6th, on that attack on our U.S. Capitol. The impact has spread all over the world. Last fall, after Reuters reported that disinformation about Chile's proposed constitutional referendum was traveling 3 times faster on social media platforms than facts, several members of this committee wrote to Meta, Twitter, and TikTok, demanding further action to reduce the dissemination, reduce the lies, reduce the hate. They did nothing. Ms. Gaddy, you were at Twitter on January 6th and asked repeatedly for a retrospective meeting to discuss what happened in the lead up to that day. Management told you, quote, it wasn't a priority for the company. Why was it not a priority for Twitter to learn lessons from January 6th?
I don't believe you're referring to me. Apologies. I'm the chief legal officer. I did not make that statement.
So who do you want me to ask? Okay, Ms. Navaroli.
Would you mind repeating the question?
Sure. On January 6th, you were at Twitter and asked repeatedly for a retrospective meeting to discuss what happened in the lead up to that day. Management told you, quote, it wasn't a priority for that company. Why was it not a priority for Twitter to learn the lessons from January 6th?
I can't speak to leadership's motivations or why it would not have been a priority for them. What I can say is myself and individual members of my team repeatedly asked that we do a retrospective to understand not just what happened on January 6th, but leading into January 8th and the permanent suspension of the president.
What can you say is Twitter's top priority?
I can't speak to Twitter's top priority at this moment. I can say that, again, my team's responsibility was to balance free expression and safety and to ensure the safety and lack of harm for people on the ground.
Thank you. Twitter's top priority seems to be to maximize its profit. The people on this panel were among the top experts moderating content for equity and safety at Twitter, and your concerns were consistently steamrolled by executives pursuing profit. We know this situation must change, but I would argue that the structure of these corporations ensures this malpractice will continue. These social media companies have shown themselves unfit to maintain a digital public square with almost universal usage and vast power. Their purpose is not to facilitate healthy, fact-based discourse. It is to aggressively pursue profit for their billionaire executives and shareholders. Even when they make a good decision about removing a post or a user, it is only to make a profit. This existential problem will not be solved by asking these for-profit corporations to tweak their approach around the edges. We need to re-envision what the internet can be. Digital platforms, including social media, are here to stay, but we need to make sure that they operate for the public good and not the private interests. We need to invest in better alternatives to big tech, and we need to establish public ownership and control to ensure these platforms serve everyone fairly. Thank you, and I yield back.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry for 5 minutes.
Thank the chairman. I thank the witnesses.